Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. This is editing Misha here. A lot of the audio for this episode was weirdly balanced and just like everything was wrong. Solus was too quiet, I was too loud, Ruby was actually fine this episode. They had the right mic and everything. So I did my best to try and balance the audio levels, but I apologize if there's certain parts that are a little too quiet and then certain parts where I just like yab on way too loud. I tried my best to balance it, but it is how it is. It should be a lot better by next week because I took steps during the recording process for next week's episode to make it more balanced and more, uniform. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you enjoy this video despite the audio issues that may arise. And yeah, enjoy the podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 7th? The 9th?
9.
This is the 9th episode
This is
of
the
Bark
9th
Bark Now?
episode. We're almost to episode
crazy.
10. Woo!
Woo!
Yippee!
I'm your host with these two guys who won't leave my office.
Yeah, we pay rent.
I mean, my cafe.
The
do you have a
coffee's
jo-
good.
Do you have job openings?
I don't want to sound racist, but I don't hire dogs.
Sorry, Misha. I know you were looking for a job
Damn.
after you just quit.
Oh yeah.
The other place.
Actually,
Yeah,
the
Let's call back to that last episode.
Yeah.
Well, nice callback. All right, so lately the news has been slow. That's why we had like 3 episodes on Twitter alone.
Well, and I mean,
Wait.
I got banned, and it just was all very coincidental timing.
It's just what was happening, and it's so funny because what was happening over there in furry was kind of slow. YouTube was popping off in like the YouTube community and stuff, but now we have a story, something that happened.
Boy, do
that was-
we.
Yeah, that was fairly big this week. There was a local meetup. I believe it was it's not their first time. I think it was the 4th annual one, but I could be wrong about that. The Sunset Bonfire Beach Meet in SoCal. It's run by Moki Mutt.
This thing was everywhere. This video.
Yes, out of context. There were a few users who popped the video, but it was
Oh, I know
mean,
who posted it. Like the original video.
Yeah.
They
right.
locked their account and they've been getting bombarded with DMs to use the video. So I don't know if we want to mention it. And I'm not going to show the video for this podcast, nor am I going to show it in my video, just out of respect, because like they've been getting messaged about it nonstop, and I don't want to add on to that.
Well,
okay.
It's good for the audio listeners, anyways, to just describe a short description of what happens in the video, anyways. So
yeah.
So
that's
what
fine.
happened? There was in the video, and I'll describe it just as the video plays before any like background. There is a man holding a megaphone, recording a fursuiter who is speaking into the megaphone very loudly. Leave or we will make you leave. The
Yes.
man holding the phone is backing up, and then the megaphone user proceeds to raise up the megaphone and hit him in the head, I think twice, before an onlooker, not a furry, not associated with the meet at all, charges down the fursuiter and holds him down and says, chill, chill, chill. Then a dragon fursuiter can be seen coming into the scene, kind of doing nothing. He kind of just jumped onto the sand.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's
he kind of dives in to like get in on it, but the he is very, very rushed, and the flop kind of only gets him about maybe halfway onto the pile.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
can't
you
say.
said, like the
I can't say-
bystanders kind of get in there way beforehand, and things kind of
But things
stop
escalate
quickly.
things escalate quickly and then they de-escalate quickly.
Yeah, it was
talking
over
seconds.
in like 20. I think the video's like 20 something seconds. I do want to say the fursuiter, it was their megaphone. They were the one holding like the handles, screaming into it. The person with the phone was the one, they had their hand like over the bell of the megaphone.
Yes, they were holding the megaphone
By
like
the
around the
bell.
front.
Yeah. Just wanted
It's
to-
impossible to know. Yeah, no, that's a good clarification. It's impossible to know, like, just watching the video what was happening, if the person was trying to take the megaphone away from the fursuiter, if the fursuiter was pushing onto him. The man with the phone, who is a furry, can be seen recording the incident, smiling at his phone and holding the megaphone while the fursuiter obviously becomes, I don't want to say enraged because that sounds very
Right.
extreme, but
Well, I,
provoked to
yeah. So
escalate. So let's talk about the people in this video. Two of them, like the main four people in my opinion, are the fursuiter with the megaphone, the man with the cell phone who was struck with the megaphone, the bystander who rushed in, and the dragon fursuiter. I think these are our four main people, and it was confirmed that after the police were actually called before this incident. More on that in a bit. But once the police arrived at the incident, three of these people were arrested. Some shortly released, some not, and one of them was seeking medical attention, but not by like an on-site ambulance.
So, needed medical attention, but like wasn't an emergency, that sort of deal.
I can't be sure, but all I know is that he and like as time went on Twitter. So obviously this was posted. We'll go back to like how this was on Twitter. This video was posted. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was wondering what the fuck was going
Yeah.
on because
yeah.
things don't escalate to that amount of violence without a reason, hopefully. So everybody wants to know the backstory. And the
Yeah.
curious kitty I am, of course, we're scrolling through the comments and trying to figure out like what happened, how did this happen? Turns out the wolf fursuiter is allegedly staff.
All right.
Um,
The one with the megaphone
Yeah.
that struck. Yes.
Yeah.
and I say allegedly because the only information we have from the beach meet itself is one post in the chat by Moki Mutt himself stating that there was an altercation between two people and who were not supposed to attend the event and a staff member. So it can be assumed that the wolf fursuiter was the staff member.
Right. I think I guess we haven't had direct confirmation of that yet, but it's assumed that they are the staff member. And a big point that we're trying to make of introing this and doing this is, as you said, at the time it was like a video was posted, and it was by an onlooker. That honestly, I think the caption was just like,
I think
only at fur meets or something like that, right?
I think the first caption literally just said bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
just was like,
So,
bruh.
so legitimately, there's like a lot of there wasn't the context of anything other than
Yeah.
furries fighting on a beach, and very quickly after that, obviously there was tons of speculation. It wasn't until some people that knew individuals within not only the SoCal, that meet itself, knew the people involved, and then that added a lot of context to it. Plus, then shortly after that, the person that was struck started putting out their narrative of what the events had been. And so basically all we have to go out there is the video, some witness testimonies, and some testimonies from the parties involved.
Yeah.
We don't have much from the parties involved. So somebody in the comments was saying that the person who was hit was a Nazi. So everybody was wondering who was that? How do we know they're a Nazi? Why was a Nazi attending the beach meet? One person came out and they actually added the people. So the person is a neo-Nazi who tried to steal the microphone just to make his own announcement during the event, and then the admin in the video was defending himself. What's the furries at? Ty 1138. It's the furries. I think it's Fenra, but he's in custody right
Is
now. That
that
was like the
Fenrir.
is that how you say that?
that was
Fenra?
I thought it was Fenris.
Thought it was...
It's not Fenris. I always said it wrong, but I can't read
Oh.
for shit.
Okay, I gotta go clarify my script then, because I saw you put Fenris, and I was like, well, that's gotta be right.
It's Fenrir, like I'm pretty sure like the god, like the
Yeah.
Norse god.
Yeah, I thought there was an is on it, but because there's two. There's Fenrir, there's Fenrir, and then the RIS version of it, and they're the same god. They're just referred to differently in cultures.
I think it was Fenrir. And
Fenrir
yeah,
looks right.
obviously Fenrir hasn't been saying anything because they got detained. Because
Possibly. We really don't know. We
Yeah,
do know.
we're not entirely sure, but they've been pretty radio silent since this.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. In fact, technically, we don't have confirmation that this was Fenrir.
Yeah.
That's just what this person is saying.
Yeah. It's what that person is saying, and I did find their Twitter account, and the suit does line up. It's the same suit.
Yes.
Okay, so it is the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Well,
I did
It's
I
the
did
same
see a Twitter
suit,
account,
and they
but I
were
wasn't
doing
sure.
a pirate cosplay. I had to scroll through a alarming amount of 4 to find the suit, but we got
Okay,
there.
so we are pretty sure who it is, but we
Yeah.
don't know that they're in custody for sure.
Yeah.
Frankly, if we do know that they were detained along with the other two people, and frankly, if you were detained and immediately lawyered up, I wouldn't blame you at all for not
Well,
posting on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's
there.
it's straight out of don't do what Trump's currently doing.
Right.
Don't get in trouble with the law
you
and
can
then immediately go post
Yeah.
about it.
Don't be
So
told not to post stuff and then post stuff about it.
yeah,
And
honestly,
typically, this is those cases where until you speak to a lawyer, you don't want to say anything because
Yeah.
you don't know what damage you're going to do to your case.
Yeah, Ruby's got a really good point about that, where he might not be detained right now. He just might be laying low and being quiet, which is smart move.
Well, we do have information that, or there's been said that there is a court case has been thrown around, and that kind of lends to why they probably lawyered up.
But I don't even want to allege to
Maybe.
that because
Okay.
we don't know that at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about a court case.
The
personally.
only thing we've seen from a court case is Ty, aka BBM, threatening to do so, and that doesn't mean much. But you could
Right.
also get a lawyer just to defend yourself, or it's just good, smart business to not post publicly if you may or may not have done a crime. So,
Yeah.
the point of that is we don't know that Fenrir is like in custody. We don't know that.
Yeah.
We do know that he was detained by the police at the event, which is very common for cases like this. The police show up, saw that there was an altercation. At least two people usually get in handcuffs and are usually quickly taken out. So speaking of that, so the second person, the person who was assaulted, came out and outed himself by replying to a bunch of the comments because people were alleging he was a Nazi. One of them, I believe Misha found it. He said, "This happened to me today at a fur meet," and he posts said video.
He posted the video. Somebody else was like, "I'm getting tired of the furry fandom," and this dude just goes, "This happened to me at a fur meet," and posts the video, and it's like, whoa. That guy wasn't even related to this. Why are you replying to him with the video about what happened?
So exactly. So after he outed himself, another person came forward, and this is where the story started to get interesting. Because at first, everyone on Twitter was just like, "What happened?" And they're all just replying, asking for context. Even the person who posted the video was like, "I don't know, guys. I was just at a beach meet, and I thought like this shit was crazy, so I posted it." So, user Soraya the Lioness posts a public testimony speaking about her relationship with the two individuals who were the person who was hit with the megaphone and the person in the dragon fursuit, saying that they're Nazis.
So
Yeah.
we should we introduce the dragon?
Have we mentioned
it
him?
through her. Not yet. Well, I've mentioned that he's in the video. I
Oh,
want to
okay.
go through her post because she was the first person to be like, "Hey, this is who this person is," and I think that's a good segue. I just need to find her post.
I just saw it. It's in like August 13th. It's way up there. Where the fuck?
I got it. I
August
brought it up.
13th. Oh, it's only the 16th. I don't know why I thought we were in the August 20s.
There's just a lot.
Thank
sent
God.
on the 13th.
Well, she protected her account. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense because she got jumped.
Which, if that's the case, then we won't go over that. We won't go over it too much. We can just say that she made a personal testimony about it, and it was confirmed that this was a real testimony due to Scarred. If I'm saying that right, am I saying that right?
I think
I've been saying Scarred.
Scarred's reply to her saying immediately that she stabbed him in the back. So it's pretty confirmed that her testimony was at least faithful, and she was the first person saying that this dude was a Nazi, and that's the screenshots of him being a fucking Nazi.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
there's
There's a lot to go for, and I'm actually looking into that right now so I can get this straight.
Yeah, there's some receipts of him being involved with the group called the Furry Raiders, which, if you follow my channel or you watch Lagovert or any of that, you guys know what the Furry Raiders are. And there's the picture that Ruby just posted to the Discord, which, even if you don't know who the Furry Raiders are, this doesn't look very good.
No, it doesn't.
And I'll probably put this on the screen. I have to censor the armband because anything involving that armband, Furry Raiders will strike it down as copyright. Not even like a claim; they'll strike it. So
it's funny. It's funny that you say that the Furry Raiders would strike this armband down, because allegedly he's not a furry raider in this post. But I'll get more into that later. But I thought that was a funny little tidbit.
yeah, because
And just to be clear, the person we're talking about right now, Scarred, is the dragon fursuiter in the video, who is Ren's boyfriend / partner.
Yep.
And Ren was the person struck with the megaphone.
Ren/Tide, yes.
Yeah, Ren/Tide.
Ren/Tide DerpyDragon. So yeah, they had two Twitter accounts going at the same time. It was Ty and DerpyDragon. DerpyDragon is the one that did most of the posting when it came to replies and spreading the narrative of what had happened to them being struck in the forehead and everything.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Scarred was in the replies of the original Twitter post too, like defending.
I have seen a couple. Yeah, I have seen a couple of people replying to Scarred, but Scarred's Twitter is protected, or sorry, his X is protected. So.
Yeah, he very quickly privated.
Yeah.
Again,
honestly,
not a dumb idea.
Yeah, probably the smart move. The dumb move was his boyfriend immediately going into the replies, because somebody posted. I'll have the screenshots on the screen, but somebody posted the picture of his Sona as a furry raider with the armband, the picture of Scarred being in the furry raider Telegram, as well as like in a Steam group, I guess those are things.
Yeah.
And Scarred just goes, hold on, let me find the reply, because it was so fucking stupid. It was the equivalent of the objection nuh-uh meme, where it's like, objection, nuh-uh. The fuck you mean nuh-uh? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was like, does anyone have proof like that he's a Nazi fur? And somebody quote tweeted the evidence and said, because he's a raider, lol. And Ty replies, nope, you've been manipulated, without defending himself whatsoever or defending what's in the screenshots.
Yes.
And it's like
Ty/Ren spent the whole day just replying to people, nope, lies, nope, that's untrue. It was very strange.
Brainwashed. You've
all
been
of that,
tricked,
man.
You've been bamboozled.
Sorry, you were believing the liars.
Oh yeah, it seems like the haters got to you. That was a lot of it too.
Oh, the haters, it's
all right.
I get,
so
it's like claims were made about him, and it was like, okay, we need to find evidence for these claims, because a lot of the people admittedly quote tweeting it and everything. A lot of it was hearsay, which doesn't really work in videos, especially I'm working on it's weird because I'm working on a video while we're recording this, but by the time this video is going to be up, the video is going to be done and posted.
Yeah,
so
this is
we're in both the past
16th.
Yeah, we're in the past and the present right now, and it's really weird.
Speaking of, really quickly though, as you're saying, there's a lot of hearsay from a bunch of random accounts, and that's how it is when you hit Twitter and you see these things. You don't know who people are.
Yeah.
You just see these replies, and there's a bunch of people saying, "Oh, this person's a terrible person. Yeah, they're a Nazi." Now you have to figure out why they know they're these things, and you got to go do that research, right? And so I wanted to back up really quick with the account Sarah that did their first personal testimony saying who Scarred was and claiming them to be a Nazi and supplying those posts. We did the research. We did look it up to where they were somehow listed and involved with Rose Bowl Furry Meet, which is ran by Scarred and Ren.
Which was
it's a was, and that's how we found there is a direct relationship between them, and also we can kind of check out their testimony there.
Oh my god, Ruby, the one you just posted, cosplaying as something does not make them that thing. Yes, kind of, somebody acting as a terrible person in a movie doesn't make them that thing. But it's the fact that you're associated with that thing and you continue to surround yourself with people associated with that.
I do want to make that clear too, because so this would be a good argument, in my opinion, if it wasn't total bullshit. Because in the post, it's not just, oh guys, this is my villain character that I play as a villain in an RP server. That's not what was said. By Scard's own words, he says to while he's posting his Nazi furry character, Rogue the Nazi fur. I removed the swastika to the Nazi fur logo because of the fucking SJWs found it offensive.
When was this posted?
Personally,
Oh, that's the Steam upload.
yeah.
That's a Steam upload?
Yeah, so that screenshot's from the Steam community.
Are you? I thought this was for Affinity. Oh my god, it is Steam. I see the logo now.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's cool. I don't support any of the Nazi values. To do so would be contradictory of me being gay and a furry. I just like World War II, and this art is the result of me RPing in an SS server for the fun on my servers and from when I played Germans in War Thunder all the time. Now leave me the fuck alone. It's my art, and if you find it offensive, there is a back arrow for a reason. Grow some thicker skin, you pussies. It's the internet. Dude, who gives a fuck? So, if you're role playing as a Nazi and it is just a game, I honestly don't care. But this is not what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Especially when the first point of it being like, I removed the swastika, meaning, and to help again for the audio listeners, it's a red armband with the furry paw print, which is the furry Raiders thing. But so supposedly this art actually exists with a swastika there instead of the paw print.
Yeah, which I just realized something. Go ahead and finish your point, then I'll make my point.
I was gonna say the point being is you don't get to say grow some thicker skins. I'm just RPing when the only reason why you remove the swastika from your personal art is because SJWs found it offensive. All right, there's a disconnect of what you're not understanding why people were upset.
Yeah, I also love it's just occurred to me, like, they removed the swastika to the Nazi fur logo. He calls it the Nazi fur logo, and it's the Furry Raiders logo. And they're so close to getting it. They're so close to the point of why the Furry Raiders are so bad, but they refuse to acknowledge. Cause like,
yes,
what the fuck else is this armband supposed to be? You know, you didn't just I got this red armband and I replaced it with a paw print, but kept the colors the same. We're a welcoming group to the furry community. Now, fuck you, dude. Like,
well, yeah,
you know what you're doing.
At that point. They know what they are.
Yeah.
So, and this was apparently this image was posted before Ren and Scard got together. This is before they were a couple. Scard apparently has some very poor history in the SoCal furry community. He's been banned from meets previously, multiple meets, allegedly. He's been kicked out of at least 2 meets that I can confirm from past screenshots. Some of them while he was with Ren, some of them not. And I was looking around for information, and I did DM Ren to ask him some questions, and he did answer me. So I'll go over just a few of the things he told me, because a lot of people were asking, okay, so this dude is dating a furry raider. That was the general consensus, and a lot of people consider the furry raiders Nazis. The furry raiders allege that they're not Nazis.
Well, they use the conservative arguing point, like Nazis only existed during World War II. We can't be Nazis. They don't actually exist anymore. Bullshit. It's like, all right, so do we want to call you neo-Nazis? Like, what you understand? The whole point is we're not calling you a straight up World War II Nazi, but you know what a Nazi is. It's a bad argument.
I find the furry raiders very distasteful for a shit ton of reasons.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to associate with them even a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's actually so funny enough that you kind of mentioned that Scard gets close to the point, but like kind of misses. That's going to be a running thing with Scard, and that involves Scard's the reasons why Scard kind of got kicked from those meets.
Yes, it does. And if we want to talk about that before I get into my interview with my mini interview with Ren, so other screenshots came out about not just him being a Nazi, but about
Inappropriate behavior.
Yes, about him being banned, about a bunch of other stuff. So, apparently one of the first times he was kicked from a meet, he was in a Telegram chat and he was it was like a meet chat and he was asking for, and I have it brought up on my computer so I'm not misquoting anything. He's asking for a ride, or is he offering a ride?
No,
He's,
he needs a
"Hey."
ride. He needs a ride. So he kind of harasses the chat about getting a ride because he wants to go to the meet, but he can't get there himself without help.
Yes, and the admin says, "As an admin, I am asking you not to spam the chat with these requests for a ride. Please keep it reasonable. It can get annoying and very quickly, and everyone's feelings as a whole must be considered." Scarred replies, "Okay, that was uncalled for. I'm not spamming by asking once a day for a ride. Hell of an intro to the fandom, guys. Well done. Been used already, lied to, and now I'm getting yelled at for asking once for a ride to a meet." The moderator says, "You asked at 8:05 a.m." I'm just getting the feeling that Scarred escalates things
Well,
pretty quickly.
I also want to quickly interject. That right there is another kind of like pattern of behavior from Scarred where they kind of minimize what they actually did versus what actually happened.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
Again,
just,
even at the beginning of that statement, he says once a day, but by the end of the statement, he says, "Well, I only asked once. Period. That's
yeah.
not what happened."
Yeah.
And follow ups the next post, and we'll find out that's the truth.
In this Telegram chat, he's also Valrum, and it's because he used to have a wolf persona, which I only want to bring up because people were saying that, oh, he never had a Nazi fur persona, that was just a character. However, he does say that he used to be a wolf persona in his own post later on, so
Hmm.
that's just an interesting discrepancy I saw. But hell of an intro. The moderator says, "You've already asked. I've gotten complaints about you." Um, from my understanding, this went into the DMs where Scarred called this moderator a bitch. I don't have those screenshots, but that that's
They
that was
are
a part of.
somewhere, but
They
we
are somewhere. So they come back into the main chat and said, "So you know what? I'll just make this easy for you, kid. Don't come around our meet. You clearly have no respect for anybody." At this point, he's officially banned from this meet.
damn.
yes,
So
and this is where
very,
yeah.
yeah, very strangely. Um, Here I have the other screenshot. So, somebody says, "What's going on?" They're asking Valrim. So, Scarred's own response to that is, "This is formally Valium Wolf. If you recall, my mate and I came down to the OC meet last year, and I was banned because of some things that happened in my past, which had nothing to do with anybody at the meet or the meet itself. It's been a while now, and I was just wondering if we could settle our differences and move on. I tried to rebuild from what happened last year by making amends for my past and creating a new character who will be my future. We have a lot more friends in the OC area who come to your meet, and we think it would be fun for you to come to more on a more regular basis, hang out with our crew. I'm sorry it took me a while to write this, but I've been so stressed out about contacting you because I don't like conflict, and I've really had to think about what I did and how to correct it. Thanks for reading." This person says, "The reason you were banned was because you argued and then became aggressive with an admin who was trying to maintain the chat. And then even after you were told not to come to this meet for a brief probationary period," so I guess he wasn't even a permaban, "you came anyway and argued with the admins on site of the meet, claiming that it was a public park and you could be around." So this happened years ago,
Yeah.
and I guess they're doing it again.
It's got a history of it. Yeah.
Well, so that wasn't even the first one, right? Because there was
uh
another meet, I believe, that caused them to get.
I don't know if we have screenshots on the
yeah,
other
the
meet.
one I read,
I guess we,
yeah.
we won't say too much, but
He mentions stuff from his past that he
yes,
keeps extremely vague because of course he does.
of course.
Right. That's it's not the weird Nazi and Raider affiliation.
Yeah,
And
no,
who
no,
knows?
no.
Yeah.
That's all
So
hearsay, you know? That's all what did he say? Incorrect. That's all he said. Incorrect, period. It's just wrong. You're just wrong. You're just being brainwashed. Those screenshots not real. I don't know what you're talking about. God, he
there was
avoids
a
the point so hard.
he really it's very strange. It's also strange that he says he doesn't like conflict, but he oh He drove 4 hours. I don't know if you've ever driven in California, but driving 30 minutes is a fucking nightmare.
Oh
So he drove
God.
4 hours to this
Oh,
meet that he was not allowed to be at, was asked to leave immediately upon arriving. He chose to sit in the car for 20 minutes before then his boyfriend uh was asked to leave the meet, and then they were both banned. So that's Ren and Scarred, and then they were both banned.
Was that at the beach meet or the meet that we're
that
talking
was
Thi-
about?
that was the forest one or the
Oh, that
park
was
one.
the park. Okay. So I
There
make
it was a
sure.
park meet because there was some or not speculation. It was said in those logs that park rangers were talked to because they
Uh,
needed the meets organizers wanted to know what the process was if somebody did show up that was not supposed to be there. Like, what could they do legally? Is it like call the cops and have them removed? If it's a public park, which that is one of the defenses Scarred tries to use, it's a public park. I should be able to be here, kind of thing. But that
I
being
think I,
that
I
being the
think
thing is that the organizer wanted to know what to do to get
I think that's an absolutely ridiculous excuse. I don't
yeah.
like it at all. And even while I was
in legally.
speaking with Ren about this, um I said that's bad optics because I'm trying to be polite, but that's
Yeah,
not
because
only
that's
that's
the same thing they did at the beach.
yeah, it sure is. This person also replied, "You argued with admins on site claiming that this was a public park and you could be around the meet if you wanted to. Park rangers and authorities got involved. Furthermore, none of your prior actions beyond the scope of our meet were accounted for, assuming the Nazi stuff. When making the decision against you, we base our decisions solely on what happens in our personal chat. Unfortunately, you have been deemed to create an unsafe environment where others are uncomfortable with you attending. We take the safety of our members seriously and cannot lift your ban." So this, like, apparently this has happened multiple times.
Yeah, this isn't his first
Right.
rodeo.
Well, like you said, there is another instance for sure. It was back when I don't think they were dating. It was the but yeah. Where do we go
He's
from here? Yeah.
he says, just to give you a bit of like his personality. So Scarred replies, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Going to the beat, I thought would help resolve things, but I was confronted by anger and hatred. Again, horrible optics. You do not fucking show up at a place you were asked not to attend."
Yeah.
Scarred and Ren both allege that their intention was to go there and talk it out because everybody had blocked them. All the more reason not to go.
Yeah.
If somebody blocks you, you fucking drop it. You leave that shit alone. They don't want to talk to you, leave them alone. And definitely don't show up. I can't imagine having a party and someone's like, "Hey man, you can't be here." And then they show up and are like, "Hey, I just want to talk it out." That sounds fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that's if you're listening to this, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. That's not a good
Yeah.
move. That is incorrect. That'll cause irreparable damage. You will never get into whatever group you're trying to get into again. If
Yes.
you're banned from something, wait out the ban. If it's a permanent ban, give it a good amount of time and then
Give it a good
maybe message somebody about it. Don't just
a
show
hundred
up.
100%, Misha. I totally agree. You got to take the L and just wait it out.
Yeah, that's the biggest
Maybe,
thing.
yeah, I totally agree. Continuing with what he said, and this is years ago, so obviously they haven't changed their personalities. "I really thought we could just talk it out and be rational adults." Oh my god, like anyway, the escalation was simply a result of being attacked verbally. Park services were never called. We stayed. I like how he directly contradicts the admin he's talking to, as if this admin didn't call park services.
Right?
uh, Park services were never called. We stayed quite a while after the incident. After the incident? What is the incident? We never saw anyone with anything. Mistakes happen on both sides of this situation.
No.
Bruh.
No.
I sh- I shouldn't have been so eager to make amends. And oh my god, I shouldn't have been so eager to make amends.
Oh
Bruh.
my god,
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
tr-
dude.
I'm
Again,
trying to.
it's just
I
the
just gotta
whole.
get through this paragraph.
Okay.
As I said, quickly.
Okay, and I understand now that it has been a year and a lot has changed. I'm not the same person I was a year ago, and I was hoping we could start amending the process. If people aren't allowed to make mistakes, how will we ever learn? Please just talk to Ty for verification. I was
Ooh.
dropped in your chat. One of you told Ty months ago that I could have a chance.
again, unverified.
You have
stuff.
If
ruined any
he's
chance
sending
you had.
walls. If I am such a danger, then he's escalating. It's it's one of those things like he sent it at 7 p.m. and then 7:30 and now it's 9:30.
Yeah.
If I am such a danger, then how is it that I am running the RBFM Fur Meet and helping film the next big furry documentary? You guys are the only people that seem to not want me around. Sounds more like somebody is holding a grudge. Furry Doc on Twitter for what I am working on.
Oh
Here's a link
God.
to the Rose Bowl for me to prove that I run it, I guess.
Right.
The admin replies, "We spoke to park rangers personally, away from the event to confirm proper procedures should someone was told not to be at our event showed up. The fact that you still feel that we attacked you and we are holding a grudge when we are basing our decisions on what actions you displayed in our chat directly to an admin via private message and at our meet shows that you don't fully understand the reason why we don't want you attending our event. We try to be fair and create a safe space for everybody. And if you can't take no for an answer, even now, when you're trying to convince me that you're trying to better yourself, you come off as passive aggressive. We want a positive environment for our meet." He says, "Fine, your loss." There is
I
nothing negative
mean,
about anything I do these days. By the way, you guys are just whatever.
oh my God, there's so much to unpack. Ah! All right, so boom, there's your pattern of Scarred just not that was Scarred, right?
Yes. Yeah, because he
That was
mentions
Scarred.
That's
That was
Scarred,
says
Scarred,
yes.
he
correct.
says
That is
talk
Scarred.
talk to Ty.
Talk to Ren, yeah, Ty. So yes, so that's again a good pattern of Scarred being so close to the point at the beginning and then so quickly losing all of it. Also, the whole point of like yes, everybody believes in like second chances and people can learn from their mistakes, but it's not up to you to decide when that like acceptance and that or an acceptance of any apology is due. Like that's up to the
So
people you've harmed to do.
sometimes you don't get one, and frankly,
Yeah.
if I was that admin, even though I understand a little bit where Scarred is coming from, because he's asking for a thing and then suddenly he's banned from event. That's what it's like from his perspective. Like, wow, I was just asking for a ride and suddenly I'm banned. Look, if you go from ignoring a direct request from my admin to immediately lashing out at them, I already don't want you at my event.
Yeah.
Like that is totally a reasonable to ban somebody. We want level-headed, kind people at our events. And if you can't even take, "Hey, maybe don't message so much in the chat," as like you took that as an attack, bro.
Yeah. It, it's yeah, it's just extremely abrasive from the get-go with that person in that context.
So that's an introduction to the kind of person Scarred is.
Well, exactly. I think this is great because we can tie this straight into what was told to them about Sunset Bonfire meetup.
That they were
Again,
banned from the
so
event.
they were so there are some posts from Ty at some point saying that no, we were never told we were banned, but we do have screenshots of them being told no, you're not allowed to be here.
We don't have those.
I thought we did.
What we do have is there apparent according to Ren, because like I said, I did speak to him. He said that nobody told him and Scar directly that they weren't supposed to attend. However, I'm curious to know what's happening there because he said that Moki Mutt, the person who runs the event, was his friend and would welcome him to the event. However, Moki Mutt directly says in the chat that two people who were not supposed to attended, and I'm trying to look for that screenshot to know if Moki said they were banned or not.
He said they were told not to attend, but two individuals told not to attend the meet, and a staff member because he
Which
refers to it as the incident.
I
Just that
interpret that as being banned, but you know.
banned. If you don't want to use the word banned as in like they're like permanently banned, but as something they were told not to attend.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Based
Uh,
based on what Mokimut said, Ren says that he was not told that. But that's where it gets interesting, and that's where I will segue into my interview with Ren because I did ask him for an account of what happened, And I will just read that out just to get all the facts. I say, hello, I'm looking to report on this incident. Would you be willing to answer some questions? Are you the person who was assaulted in the video? He responds, yes. I'm skipping some, formalities. Like, he's like, sorry, you can imagine things are hectic. I'm like, I'm sure they are, blah, blah, blah. All right. To clarify some information, is it true you were assaulted in the video? Yes. Do you know who the assailant was? Because I assumed, based on the vitriol, that these people had prior history, and based on what Ren was saying in his public Twitter post, where he was saying this is based on like a personal attack against me, and it's premeditated. He was using that word a lot. But
Yeah.
he said, I personally do not know him. I was told by other people, unconfirmed, that he is blank's, I'll leave out that name, blank's boyfriend. I don't know who blank is at all. I said, so you had no connections to this person prior to this event. I have personally never met them. Thank you. In the video, it is shown that you are filming. Do you have that footage? He says he can't provide it. Very understandably, he took it to the police and for whatever. Again, privating your Twitter right now is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I said, do you intend to press charges? He says yes. I ask him, and with a circled image, I'm like, can you confirm that this is Scarred in the video, the person wearing the dragon fursuit, and that he is your boyfriend? Yes, this is my partner. Yes, that's him. Do you know if the person assaulted was arrested? They took 3 people into custody. So the 3 people were Scarred, Fenrir, and the person who
The
first,
bystander who
the
dove.
bystander, correct. Apparently, Scarred and the bystander were released shortly after, according to Ren's testimony. So I'll get into the I'll get into the big one now. I asked him if he received any on-site care. He said that his friend bandaged him up, and then he went to the ER, obviously to get a report, because you got to do that type of thing. I say, were you expecting confrontation? He says, the meet was run by 2 friends. We had gone to 3 prior events. There was no evidence we were banned from anything. I said, do you have proof that these people are your friends? According to Moki's own words, you and Scarred were asked not to attend. I show him the screenshot. He says, for legal reasons, I can't answer this question. I'm going to skip past a few more nonsense formalities, and I say, okay, I see. So in your own words, with as much detail as you are willing to provide, please describe arriving at the meet, how it progressed, and how it progressed into violence from there. He also says that he was there for basically an incredibly short amount of time. Alrighty. Based on the video evidence, this is a direct quote. So, based on the video, the evidence police will use to prosecute, the video shows a female in a yellow jacket coming to us saying, you guys are banned from this event, which we continue to walk past in order to find our friends. The person in the blue head suit, I guess the wolf with a megaphone, suit with a megaphone immediately came on our tail and started screaming into the megaphone, you will leave or you will be made to leave. The person in the blue head with the megaphone says, if you do not leave, I will broadcast to everyone here what you have done. My response, Ren, please, please do. At this point in time, they continue to say, everyone does not want you here. Your presence is not wanted here. Get out. My response, it's a public beach meet. We are here to see our friends. His response, why are you in a place nobody wants you to be? Why do you care about the people who don't care about you? My response, I have tons of friends here. I turn towards 3 of my friends who are watching. The camera points at them. These are long-term friends of mine, known them for a few years. Some admins of my former meet, they are clearly just wanting to follow us to wherever we go next. He retorts, you have been banned. I ask, where is the documentation? He exclaims, you can be the asshole who chooses to leave or the asshole who chooses to stay. The cops arrive at this time and their car is facing the wrong way, so they go away for a few seconds to turn their car around and head towards the confrontation. I ask, what reasons were we banned? Can you list them? I'm confused. He says, I know you're confused. Your intelligence has made that very clear. I ask him, start at the top and list the reasons, please. He says, I don't need to tell you the reason other than you are not wanted here. by everyone, and gestures across to everyone, many of whom are literally my friends with their jaws dropping. I point to my friends, who are now 7 people in the video, all gasping at what's happening. He says, "You have 10 seconds before I blast in your eardrums." He then raises up the megaphone and screams in my ear, "You will leave now or we will make you leave," over and over again, making a huge scene. From there, it's just being hit on the head with the megaphone and blood everywhere. The entire incident lasted 5 minutes and 22 seconds.
Okay.
Yep, so
Wow.
that's his testimony.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna point this out. I don't know where these 7 friends are. They haven't shown themselves yet.
Yeah, they haven't shown themselves.
And
There's
again, they use the excuse it's a public meet. It's a public area again. Again, they're just violating and sticking their nose in the trouble, just like Scar did last time at the park meet, causing a confrontation and instigating. Like again, you may not expect somebody to like attack you, but it definitely seems like they pushed the envelope again.
yeah.
They're told not to go somewhere, and they decided, you know what, we're gonna go again. And their only backing evidence, or not the backing evidence, but the backing reason behind that is Ren says to the admins are their friends that they thought they should be able to go see at the meet. But just because your friends are admins or staff doesn't mean you can go to a meet that has told you not to go.
Yeah.
They're
And like
separate entities for a reason.
yeah.
Maybe there was a miscommunication where people just thought they wouldn't show up. Maybe I don't know what it is, because Ren is saying that he wasn't banned and Moki is saying that he was asked not to attend. Whatever the case, it kind of sounds like even if you walked into an event. So let's say he had no idea he was not supposed to be at this event. In his own testimony, the second he gets there, a staff member asks him to leave and he walks past her.
Yeah. At that
Yes.
point,
Like,
you're in the wrong. As soon as you just
why
walk
did
by.
you do that?
Yeah. And like if you walk into an event that you think you're allowed to go to and somebody comes up and they're like, "Hey, you're not welcome here." I feel like just ignoring them and walking by is extremely incriminalizing. Like if I walked into a public place and they were like, "Hey, sir, you can't be here." My first question would be, "Why?" Like
Right.
I would
I
stop
agree
and
completely.
talk to that person. The fact that he just walks by basically proves to me that he knew he wasn't welcome there. He ignored
I
the person that told him he wasn't welcome there, kept on going as if the person didn't even exist, acknowledges in that testimony that he heard the person tell him. It wasn't like he didn't hear him or anything.
Oh no.
He acknowledges, "Hey, this person told me I can't be here," and he continued to go anyway. Like, what the fuck? And like another thing, back to the public park thing. Like, yeah, they can't kick you out of a public beach. However, you can't just join someone random's party. Like, let's say these
That's
people are
true.
having a beach party. You can't just walk up and crack open one of their Coronas like you belong. The cops are going to get called and you're going to get kicked out of their little meetup. You can't you can be in a public place, but you can't just join anyone's group wherever they may be. At that point, you are causing a public nuisance. You are not invited. You can be at that beach. You just have to be somewhere else. The beach in its entirety is a public place. That little gathering, at that point, I'm pretty sure that becomes a little private gathering, and you can't interfere with that. If everyone there, or at least the majority of the people involved or in charge of it, say, "Hey, we don't want that person on our part of the beach. We're just trying to have a good time over here." You can't just sit there and be like, "Well, it is a public place. I'm just gonna sit on their lawn chairs and just hang out." Like, no, that's not how that works.
No, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that could be considered instigation and provocation.
Probably,
Like
yeah.
just showing up where you're not wanted. It sounds like the person with the megaphone asked him multiple times to leave, who he was ignoring.
Albeit
I'm
very aggressively, but
Well,
but
it wasn't just one person. It was at least one
yeah,
other staff member too.
yeah,
So quickly, we're not legal lawyers, legally advised counsel. Just saying that because you would think what they did with some sort of warning. I thought, or I believed that there is some sort of written message that told them not to show up to this beach meet. I'm not 100% certain. If we can have somebody find that, that'd be amazing. If we find it before the episode gets
I
edited, that's
I
cool.
I don't think I saw one. I think the only
Because
thing I saw was
we've also in our investigations of all of this found that it was suggested that the beach meet, because of where its location is and how big it is, requires a city permit. I know we were trying to follow up on that as well, but if it's a permitted event, then there is trespassing
Oh,
involved. It's
oh
not a
yeah,
public beach. It's a public beach outside of that cordon off area for the meet.
yeah.
And
Ren wasn't the only person I interviewed. I also interviewed a few other people, and I did ask them that question to find this out. And I said, like, were there any signs posted? Was there a little like area that was just for the beach meet? According to everybody who responded, it was actually kind of very mixed in with the public. There was apparently a little staff table. There was designated staff in like little vests, but it was very intermixed with the public, apparently. So if you happen to like stumble into the furry meet, you wouldn't have even known.
Oh, okay.
other than the fursuits, right?
Yeah.
Right.
so
Which
that
also makes
there's
sense because in the videos, the person who took him down was a regular guy. Some people were even telling me that the beach meat was a little hard to find because they couldn't tell where it was, except for the furries.
Yeah, you can only wear so much of your fursuit on the beach because, like,
oh
you're
Uh,
gonna get
you
so
can
much
only
sand.
do what you
God, the
want.
sand! Oh my
Yup.
god, they tackled
I
him in
would
the suit. The sand. I didn't even
I would
think of
wear,
that.
you know me, I'd wear the whole fursuit.
Oh my
That'd be
god.
crazy.
I did ask Ren directly, upon arrival when asked by the woman in yellow from your testimony, why did you walk past her when she confronted you with the information about your supposed ban? Was there a staff table? That, like I said, staff labeled clearly. Was the event marked with postage? If you have any friends on staff, how do you know that the event? Do you know that the event has permits? I did find out that yes, the event does have permits.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, he responds, "We were caught off guard. I was looking around for my friends so we could discuss it. The attackers pushed us further into the meet, but unfortunately, the people we were looking for were not there. On the video, there's no sign of indication. There's no signs of indication of anything, just tents. And we, of course, immediately recognized our friends and waved to them. I was told they got a permit. I did not see, which does correspond with other people I talked to.
I'm also getting confused because at first he's like, we're trying to find our friends and we know right where our friends are, but then we get pushed into the meet and get lost. But then we see our friends and say, but then we can't see our friends and say hey. But then these friends are nowhere to be seen in any of the videos.
Yeah,
So
this.
this narrative gets really muddy for me.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is his story never lines up. He like even with the stuff with the forest meat, even with the stuff way back when, like none of it lines up. He says one thing and then immediately pivots and says another.
But like
Um,
yeah, with
and
the
I
forest
don't
meet,
think these people that he thinks are his friends aren't as good of friends as he thinks. Cause like the fact that like his supposed friends just watched all of this happen. Like if I saw my friend getting harassed
exactly.
by people, I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? Like
Or
what's the big
or attack.
idea? Why are they
Look,
banned?"
I hate to say it, but the only person that jumps into that, other than the bystander, that jumps onto Fenrir or Fenris, whatever, the wolf suitor, that person tackled him because he saw the immediate attack. Other
Right.
than that, Skarn is the only other person to jump in, other than kind of staff makes a circle. You can see
Yeah.
because they have like vests on and stuff. Nobody else gets in there, and I mean, again, if these are friends, you at least try to help separate, right? And
Yeah.
I don't ever see it. I don't
No.
ever see it.
I
So
agree.
to
If
me,
I was getting heated in an event like this, either my friends are about to like they're gonna ride or die this. They're about to beat this dude's ass with me, or more likely they're gonna grab my shoulder and be like, "Hey, Ruby, like
It's not
fucking
worth
take a
it.
chill pill."
Yeah.
But I don't see that at all. I do see people doing that to the wolf fursuit in the video.
Yeah.
He also says that the entire incident lasted 5 minutes and 22 seconds. And I asked him when the altercation happened. Like, were they there for a second? It happened as soon as they arrived on the beach. So it happened immediately.
Yeah.
so that's why that kind of invalidates again the narrative. Oh, we walked in and we saw our friends. Like, no, you didn't. That's no.
You walked
Especially when
in
they
and
said, "Oh, we saw a couple tents." Literally, the first thing that happened was people recognized you and said, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Leave."
yeah, you walked in and immediately got told to leave and ignored that. And
All right.
immediately after that, everything you did past that, you're in the wrong.
Yeah,
And
it's all instigation at that
something
point.
is very weird with this too, in my opinion, because I don't know about you guys, and we see it on Twitter all the time, where somebody will take a sly little picture of somebody horrible, like a
Crusader
zoophile that
Cat.
keeps something, yes,
Yeah,
like
great.
Crusader
Yeah.
Cat. How the fuck did you sneak into Anthrocon? But it's because furries are very non-confrontational and shy. But like someone like that is just walking a fucking bout, and people are taking little sly pictures. This dude hit the sand and was immediately confronted. You have to have a
Yeah, and we're
fucking
talking without a suit.
You have to have a fucking reputation for
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Ruby, do you mind sharing
Guard had a guard had a
uh,
suit, so maybe they saw that one.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say,
maybe.
Ruby, would you mind sharing the little reply calling you like you're brainwashed by the haters or something? Because
Uh,
that is something that is said from some of the very first posts that Ty/Ren replied to the video on Twitter and stuff. All the way through everything is how everybody only hates them and is reacting to them because of the misinformation and negative stories that have been told about them, and that it's all like a hate campaign.
I do ask him. I say, I see. So, did you expect an altercation, and was it just you and Scarred arriving together? I asked him this because I was wondering, like, did you come here to provoke this? Did you come here to do that thing where it's like we're just on a beach, guys?
Yeah,
He
like
says, no, I did not expect a confrontation. The event was managed by two of my close friends, and we thought they'd have our back. We went to take some nice sunset pictures with our friends. Yes, it was just us and the man. It's very interesting that he keeps saying this. And the reason I find it interesting is because as soon as I show him the screenshot of Moki saying, um,
They're two individuals.
yes, then he stops naming names. He will not name any of these people he's talking about,
oh yeah.
which is which is weird because he was doing it on Twitter publicly. That's
Yeah,
how
he
I
mentioned
know he was talking about Moki. But then he stops after I show that tweet. So again, maybe there was a
Well,
weird
wasn't that
miscommunication in the background.
that's even another thing in the conversation you had, or in this little interview, was he goes, "Well, ask my friends," and then immediately turns around and says, "Well, I'm not gonna name them," because you're like, "All right, I'll ask them." Like, yeah, sure. And then immediately it was like, "No, I can't tell you." And it's like, "Well, you just told me to ask them." And he's like, "Well, I can't." All
He
right.
does he does do that, yes. So I'm doing a little bit of a back and forth with him. I'm just trying to confirm some information. If like it's something like if somebody asked me to, I would, but I don't think because
Okay.
there's nothing in here that I said. Like I am just asking questions.
Yeah.
I'll record it and show you guys the whole interview so you can dig to see if there's anything I missed. But most of it is just really fucking boring.
Yeah, I got you.
So a little bit of back and forth with him, just tedious stuff. Basically, I asked him, like, just out front, okay, there's rumors that Scarred's a Nazi. What's that about? What do you mean when you're saying that this is like an instigated attack against you? Like what's the backstory here? Is what I says. He says beach event legal. I'm assuming he did that because he's writing this in a separate document and copying and pasting it, which is fine. Beach event legal. When Scarred was younger, he had a dark RP server, which was a gaming thing, where he roleplayed as the bad guy, which was a wolf character as a joke. He wore an SS outfit so his players could play Shoot the Nazi as a joke. Someone who played on the server gifted him some art that the CG character, whose name is Adolf Yiffler, the artwork had a wolf character.
Yeah, that kills me inside.
Holy shit. I
That's
I must
almost as
have
bad as
I must
Foxler.
have missed this screenshot. Holy I wasn't ready.
No, you missed that.
The monotone way I said it. Adolf Yiffler.
You are
Anyway,
truly the reporter of us three because you did not
anyway.
skip a beat on that.
I know. That
The,
would have
this
taken me like 4 takes if I recorded that for a video.
someone who played on the server gifted him some art of the character CG, whose name was Adolf Yiffler. The artwork had his wolf character, not his persona, as he didn't have one. With the paw on the armband, which was the logo of the server. When people started attacking him, he started he stated over and over again he doesn't believe in Nazism. It was just the only art he had of the character he played in the game. When he created his persona, a dragon character, he changed his profile picture and never thought anything of it. A few people were looking to dig up dirt on him because they hated him from the moment they met him, and they found his Steam account, and you can find older art on there. So they found the art and started posting it around everywhere. At the time, there wasn't any real backlash, but it grew slowly over the years. People at local events would be whispering, "There's the Nazi," as he walked by, that sort of intimidation. The second screen grabs that's going around is when he worked in security for Golden State FurCon. He would help start the local convention. He was the only certified security person we had on our team, so we asked him to join as many groups as possible on Telegram to keep an eye out who's coming to the con. We waited to ensure that we weren't going to get heckled by any of the raiders, so he joined a few of their groups just so he could access the security risks. The groups, though, were dead. Nobody really talked to them after the Denver incident a year prior. Of course, someone who hates him got a screenshot of that. He was literally asked by the convention staff not to do it. Oh, to do it. Scard has been harassed to the point of his Telegram being full of DMs from deleted accounts, calling him names, accusing him of things that have never happened. He's been attacked on Twitter in the same way, DMs and several posts. Now, of course, I'm under attack for the same story by deleted and blocked accounts. Calling me names, accusing me of things that have never happened. The harassment is not just with us. The same people have harassed dozens of others. Some are friends, some other people who have come to us for help. Scard is not a Nazi. Ren is not a Nazi. If anyone bothered to check their Twitter profiles, if anyone talked to their friends, if anyone reached out to get the truth, they would know. So there's a few things in here that I want to unpack. One, that last little bit, like you said, Solus, we'll get to later. But to start off, he says that he did this in the RP server, right? According to Scard's own post, he changed the shoulder thing from a paw to a Nazi symbol just so the SJWs wouldn't get mad.
The
Other way around.
Completely
other way around. Swastika
okay.
to the paw pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
Completely
remembering that Steam account is already associated with the Furry Raiders.
uh completely ignore, right, that Steam account is already associated with the Furry Raiders, and if this was before he even met Ren, then he was in the Furry Raiders before Golden State FurCon quote unquote asked him to join for security. So that's just a lie, or Ren didn't know he was a Furry Raider when they started dating.
Oh.
In my opinion, I think the Golden State FurCon thing is a cover up for the fact that he was legitimately a Furry Raider. And I understand why you'd want to protect your boyfriend, or maybe Ren was lied to and doesn't realize that he was like, Scard told him, "Oh, it was just because I like the uniform," and Ren believes him. Now, I did check Ren's Twitter a little bit, and I can't find anything even right wing, in my opinion. He seems to be politically left. So like, I can't call this guy a Nazi in good faith. A lot of people
Right.
have been saying, if you date a Nazi, you are a Nazi. And this is a sentiment I do agree with.
Yeah.
However, we can only prove that Scard is kind of an irrational human being and a furry raider. I don't know more about him because he had his Twitter private, and all of the posts we have are from quite a bit ago, but it does show that he definitely has a pattern of behavior. He's definitely confrontational. He definitely has a bad reputation.
Yeah.
Well,
All
like
of that is
I
very consistent.
so
And
I think that's the most important thing to take away from this. So because that's something I kind of also came to the conclusion of later on is like Scard's past involves furry raiders, Nazi symbols, not and very like Nazi-esque behaviors and patterns and stuff. Again, their biggest claim, Ren has said it, is like, they're a changed person. But the problem with that being is you have to show that you're a changed person.
yes,
And unfortunately, with the no never takes no scarred and showing up and being confrontational and instigational in multiple different situations throughout the years, it doesn't give me confidence. So can I 100% sure say he's a Nazi for today? I don't know. I can't say maybe 100% conclusive, But with the past association and nothing giving me confidence in that person's character, then I'm definitely going to be weary of that. And it's one of those things where, yeah, if people don't want to associate with that, that's going to be on them, you know.
I
And if they
agree.
have to
Like,
Yeah.
be, if that makes people uncomfortable and a meet takes that into consideration, because that was one of the major points that they tried to say is this hate campaign that we've had misinformation spread about, against us, and it's all totally unfair and we're treated unfair. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, it comes down to what the admins and the organizers and staff came together, made a decision. It's their meet, not yours, and they get to make that decision on the behalf of all of the attendees. And
they s-
by pushing that boundary again and going anyways, you just violate everything.
I
And
agree.
again,
These two people should not have been at this event.
No.
They completely crossed whether it be an actual boundary that somebody told them to set, or just a social boundary that you should have known not to come. It very, in my opinion, this sounds like provocation to me. It's
oh,
you
absolutely.
know, it's up to the individual if violence was like necessary in this. I wasn't there, so I don't know. And I'm also the type of person that I don't agree with the sentiment that violence is never the answer, because frankly, I find that to be a very privileged take. If violence is never the answer, that comes from a place of never needing violence. It's like saying theft is always wrong. That's a kindergarten answer. If you're
Yeah.
hungry, go steal some bread from Walmart, man.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I just got banned for saying punch bigots and Nazis, so this is kind of
You got your
it might
wish,
be a little
Solus. No.
but
It is. Well,
okay,
bringing it back
yeah.
to Twitter every time.
God, right.
Well, no, I thought it was very, you're trying to say I don't necessarily believe in violence is the answer, and that's my answer.
Yeah.
I like that answer.
Look,
Uh,
the, and that's like at the end of the day, you have to go off of what they did, and whether you believe they're Nazi furs or not. Do you think they deserve being stricken by the megaphone? I think that is up to interpretation on this point. But I think again, based off of everything we've seen and read, it was all calculated. They drove all the way out there to start shit, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think
Like
they
it's my opinion.
I don't think they fathomed themselves getting hit, but they went
No.
there specifically knowing they weren't allowed and to start
Well,
shit. They could say that they didn't know all they want, but walking past that first person telling them they're not welcome, that tells me that
and
they
I
fully
agree.
well,
knew.
I
and,
agree.
and the video kind of backs up my opinion on the. He starts recording, instigating this person, and I think he was hoping to have him at least swing at him. I don't think he expected to get hit with a megaphone, obviously. Uh, but at the end, like after he gets struck and they get kind of like separated, you can hear him screaming, "This is what furries do to me, or furries do to you," and like it comes out like it comes off as very like say victimy, but again, I think it was all like you said, provocation and instigation. You're not a victim if you provoke and instigate this.
Yeah.
I agree. And frankly, everything leading up to this too. So like you said, Misha, he immediately walks past the person, because I think all of us would reasonably be like, "What? I'm banned?
Yeah,
What do you
what?
mean?
Why?
Wait a minute. Can I speak to Moki? Is Moki here? Where is
Yeah.
he? Will you get him
Yeah,
for me?"
Let
But,
me
none of
you
let
it.
me
know,
go let me go talk to my friends at the very
you walk
least.
you ignore staff, you walk past them. Staff says you will leave or you'll be made to leave. Staff says if you don't leave, I'll broadcast uh, everything you've done, and you respond, "Please, please do." Like you're obviously being confrontational. If your intention was genuinely just to come here to hang out with your friends, and you were immediately met at the stopped at the beach with staff, why would you not be like, look, I know I've had my past. Me and Scart are just here to have a good time. Like, we don't want to make any trouble. Why would you not say that? Why
Yeah.
would you intentionally ignore staff, provoke them, and then pull out your phone and start smiling at the camera? It's not good optics, man. It does
No.
not look good.
I
And
think I think that's why going back and doing the deep dive and getting all of the context changes a lot about what
Yeah,
was being said by any sides.
yeah, because like the video on its own looks really fucking bad, but like
It
when you
looks
get
really
when you
funny.
get all the info, it's like
Right.
wait,
It looks
okay.
so bad that a third party non-furry organization
Oh my
misreported it too.
god, the
Oh,
Daily. I don't even want to say their name. Fuck them. But
But there's
some
a
news site put
they're a
out an
shitty
article.
news site.
Yeah, I use news very lightly here.
Yeah, it's not no, it's not news
Some
actually.
blog full of people who write articles and pretend to know what the fuck they're talking about. It pisses me off as somebody who like tries to make sure they have all their ducks in a row and make sure everything's right.
It literally
They were
doesn't.
like, "Oh,
What's
this
the headline?
what was it like furry fetish
Vo-
group or
No,
whatever?"
no, I thought it was like voyeur gets attacked at fur
There's
like
no way they
by
called him a
furries.
voyeur. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, voyeurism being like I think they're trying to say just like some random person out and about taking pictures, like or recording.
Well, I have 20 Blue Sky
Not
notifications. What the fuck? Who did I piss off? Okay, we'll check that in a minute. Also, this absolutely has to be the last thing we're talking about.
yeah. No, I saw the timer and it just is what it is. I knew this wasn't gonna be a short episode. But that's
had
why I also
hopes.
segued into that.
Oh, they did call him a voyeur.
Yep.
Voyeur mauled by furries after he's caught filming them at the beach.
Yep, not at all what happened.
Furries who
but-
dress up as animals and identify as the chosen animal, often as a sexual fetish. Because that's
Oh, yeah.
exactly what's going on at the beach. Yep.
Hell, even the fucking Jesse Waters did better than that.
Oh well, dude. Okay, watching Jesse Waters like shit himself and just stutter over Trump getting indicted over and over again has been therapy for me, dude. It's been so
Oh,
fucking funny.
Do you want to end the episode with some positive Trump indictment?
I do actually.
The big thing is like that article gets written, right? And obviously it's towards their audience. The audience already hates us and doesn't care about what we actually are about.
Yep.
So it's not really anything lost. But the reason why this podcast was done is all these things we figured out were between in the teens of different Twitter threads, videos posted, screenshots posted. It was all over the place. And that's why like Ruby was I won't lie, Ruby did a lot of it, just was like gathering all of the information from everywhere and trying to piece it together and asking questions where we could to make sure the connections were like legitimate and backed up. And if not, a lot of misinformation gets spread.
Yes.
And we don't with this thing, we definitely wanted to make sure there were some clarifications there.
Yeah, like I'm being super fucking careful about this video. I'm having
Yeah.
multiple people read the script. You too.
Mm.
So a couple of people read the script. And just the fact that like some shit ass blogger can just like write an article about it and pretend that everything he's saying is correct and get paid way more money than I could ever hope to make. Like that's so unbelievably fucked that he's
it's
just
'cause he doesn't
allowed to
care.
do that.
To them, that's just a funny like little bit of a video to just
God.
make.
That affects real people though. Like I know I'm preaching to the
Right.
choir, but like holy shit, dude. It's so fucked.
It really is.
On a
Yeah.
positive note, get your facts straight. Play Wolf Quest. Lord knows I'm gonna.
Oh yeah.
Hey, if you
yeah,
play
I was gonna
Yu-Gi-Oh,
say-
add me on Master Duel. Comment your like Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel thing below, and I
You
might
can do
add
that.
you.
And there's going to be a lot of questions. You can definitely ask them in the comments below. I will be trying to stay up on it. If there's anything I don't have the answer to, I'll be asking them in our little group chat we have so we can try and provide answers because of all the research we have done on this. We're not sure if this is going to require an update at some point in time. I personally would love to get a hold of the wolf suitor at some point just to
I
kind of
agree.
get
This
their
was
side of the story.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
have
for
no
sure.
clue if or when that's going to happen, especially since Ren has thrown around that this is a legal case and like a court case and all this shit. So it could be months, it could be never. We'll see. Comment down below if you do have any questions, though, and we can try and provide some clarity.
He should be back on Twitter if what I looked up about like arrests and how long like the maximum time somebody can hold you and shit like that. He should be back on Twitter in like 2 weeks. So maybe we'll get an update then.
Maybe, which is gonna be about when this video goes up. So
Yep,
or
so
this
we'll know.
podcast. Yeah.
We'll see if we do.
Yeah.
Like I said, another episode. But yeah,
Thanks for.
Did we want to write up on anything else?
I don't think so. Other than tune in right after this episode. We will be live doing a little premiere ditty. We're gonna be chatting with the chat
We're gonna be
and
laughing.
vibing with the
Yeah.
vibes.
We'll be laughing at Donald Trump's indictment.
Dude, he might fucking get indicted again
Well-
by the time we do the live.
Well, no, it's usually every Tuesday. It's on
Ah.
a Tuesday when they do it, so it'd be after that. But
Wait, what?
wait, when's the 25th? No, it's too far out. Damn.
Damn.
Trump is supposed to, or Trump has until noon on the 25th to surrender himself in Georgia, or he's running from the law. So we'll see. And Georgia's a state thing, and there's some interesting things about it to where he may not just get let out of jail. We'll see.
Woohoo.
We'll see. There's gonna be that's just some fun political stuff going on.
Yeah.
US culture, you know, former
Fun
president.
political
Hey,
stuff.
there's
gross.
no
Or-
politics on this podcast. At least
We're
not this
not-
episode.
Oh,
At least not this
I-
episode, because we're an hour and 28 in.
Yeah.
I'm-
Please, God.
I'm leaving.
All right.
All right,
Bye. They actually left. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to check us out on YouTube Music if you just want to listen while you are doing those chores that you have been putting off. And be sure to tune in if you're watching the premiere here in like 2 or so minutes or whenever this episode finally ends, and we'll be live and chatting with y'all. So yeah. And if you are watching this if you are watching this in the future or listening to this on other podcast websites, every Friday when the video goes live as a premiere on YouTube, we chat with y'all afterwards. So be sure to tune in and say hi for one of those. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. So see y'all later. Bye.
Came back for the live stream. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Go back